So let's be honest for a second. Have you ever had that moment, that zombie scroll?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you pick up your phone just to check one thing, maybe the weather, and then suddenly 30 minutes have vanished.
You look up, your eyes are kind of glazed over, your thumb is sore.
And you feel, 0% better than when you started? I mean, everybody's been there, right? It
Yeah.
feels like we're losing this battle of wills against these little screens.
It's really the central dilemma
Yeah.
of our time, isn't it? We know we shouldn't be so attached, but we feel this genuine anxiety when the phone is just out of reach,
Yeah.
even for a minute.
Yeah.
And the sources we dug into for this, they use a phrase that it sounds a little dramatic at first, but they argue it's dead on accurate. They call it digital slavery.
Digital slavery. Wow, that's a heavy term. And that's what today's deep dive is all about. We're looking at the source material that backs that up. This isn't just, a badly designed app. The research says they're sophisticated psychological machines.
Engineered, explicitly engineered to hack our brain,
Right.
to exploit our deepest human weaknesses and just keep us locked in.
Right.
And our sources approach this from two really fascinating angles.
Mm-hmm.
On one side, you've got the huge systemic problem that affects almost everyone, the social media addiction cycle.
Okay.
And on the other, you have this really bizarre kind of niche phenomenon of digital drugs binaural beats, which just shows how far we'll go to get a hit from our technology.
So our mission today is to figure out if this is just, sensationalism or if it's based on real solid psychology. And more importantly, to give you the tools to move from being a slave to the system to actually taking back control.
Let's start with the machine itself.
Yeah.
The core idea for the sources is that these platforms are psychological machines. And nothing about their design is an accident.
Not an accident.
No.
Oh.
Every little detail is built to bypass your rational brain and just go straight for your instincts. They're not trying to inform you, they're trying to activate you.
And the fuel for this entire machine is our own brain chemistry, right? Specifically, dopamine.
Exactly, dopamine. And we hear that word all the time, but the sources make this super important distinction. It's not the chemical of pleasure.
It's the chemical of anticipation.
Yes. The seeking. It's the thrill of the hunt. It's triggered by the potential for a reward, the ding of a notification, the promise of a comment, what might be there when you refresh.
So it's the exact same pathway as gambling or substance abuse.
Precisely. And the sources use this perfect analogy for it. The slot machine effect.
The slot machine effect. Okay, break that down.
Well, think about a slot machine in Vegas. The jackpot is the reward, sure. But what keeps the gambler pulling that lever over and over again? It's the uncertainty. It's the maybe.
You pull the lever or, refresh the screen and you don't know if you'll get a little win, a huge win, or nothing at all.
And that variability is the key. The researchers found that predictable rewards are actually kind of boring to our brains. If you knew you'd get exactly one, like every time you posted, you'd stop. But because you might get 3 or 300 or 0, your brain stays hooked and it keeps seeking.
So the platforms are the casinos. What are the specific tools they're using to keep us playing? The sources point to 4 big ones. The first one is probably the most obvious: infinite scroll.
The infinite scroll, it's so brilliant in its simplicity and, frankly, its cruelty. The content literally never stops.
Right. There's no end.
There's no end. You're denied that natural psychological break you get when you finish a chapter in a book and get to the bottom of an article. The dopamine hits just keep coming and coming.
Okay, so tactic number 2, I think this one is almost more insidious. Push notifications. That little red dot.
Oh, that red dot. The sources say that notifications are engineered specifically to create a low-grade, constant anxiety. They weaponize FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Your phone dings and your brain just goes, what was that? Did I miss something? Is someone waiting for me?
Exactly. And the only way to relieve that little spike of anxiety is to open the app. You're not in control anymore. The app is telling you when to engage.
And this next one, tactic 3, this is where it gets really chilling. The AI personalized feeds. The sources say the AI knows our insecurities. How?
It's not just what you click. The AI is tracking micro interactions. It's watching how long your thumb hovers over a photo of, say, a fitness influencer.
Just a half-second pause.
Just a half-second pause. Or how quickly you scroll past a political post. It sees you hesitate for a split second on an ad for weight loss, and it files that away. Insecurity, body image.
So it knows us better than we know ourselves.
In some ways, yes.
Yeah.
And it uses that to build a feed that keeps you oscillating between desire and fear, which are two of the most powerful emotions for capturing human attention.
Okay, but I mean, shouldn't we be able to just override this? We're rational people.
That's the thing. You are a rational person,
Yeah.
but you're fighting an opponent that has basically unlimited data, thousands of the world's smartest engineers. It's an individual fighting a supercomputer that is designed specifically to break their willpower. The game is rigged.
And the final tactic they use is gamification, turning our lives into a scoreboard.
Yeah, and this is where the emotional manipulation really comes in. I mean, think about Snapchat streaks.
Right.
For a teenager, breaking a streak doesn't just feel like a number going down. The sources say it can feel like you're breaking a friendship. It turns connection into this high-stakes, stressful game you have to play every single day.
This level of intentional engineering, it's the perfect bridge to our next topic, the one that's really out there. This chase for an altered state. It leads us to the bizarre corner of the internet called digital drugs.
It really does sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's a completely real thing. These so-called digital drugs are basically audio tracks that use a technology called binaural beats.
Okay, we need to slow down here and really explain this. How can just listening to two sounds supposedly change your brain state?
So it's a neat little trick of perception. You put on stereo headphones, and it plays two slightly different frequencies, one in each ear. So say 300 hertz in your left ear and 310 hertz in your right.
Okay.
Your brain can't quite process those two separate tones, so it creates a third phantom beat at the difference between them. In that case, a 10 hertz beat.
So that third beat isn't actually in the audio file. My brain is making it up.
Your brain is synthesizing it. And the theory is that by getting your brain to produce these specific frequencies, you can nudge your overall brainwave activity into different states, like deep relaxation or heightened focus.
And these tracks, you can find them everywhere. YouTube apps like iDoser, and they have these insane names, right? Digital cocaine, LSD trip.
Oh yeah, ecstasy, orgasm. Very provocative.
But what does the science say? Is there any truth to these, extreme claims?
Well, the research is pretty divided. On the one hand, yes, studies do show that binaural beats can help with relaxation or focus. Kind of like meditation music or white noise. They can definitely influence your mood.
But simulating cocaine.
That's where the consensus is a hard no. The researchers we reviewed pretty much all agree that those extreme effects are overwhelmingly due to the placebo effect. You listen to a track called LSD, you expect to feel something trippy, and so your brain kind of delivers. There's no proof it's actually releasing chemicals like a real drug would.
So if the high is mostly in your head, why is this a big deal?
Because the real danger, according to the sources, is the gateway mindset. You're training your brain to see altered states through a screen. A big 2022 survey found that 12% of young users listen to these things, specifically trying to get a psychedelic hit.
12%. That is not a small number.
It's a huge number. And the data shows that people who use digital drugs are also statistically more likely to use real drugs. It's not the audio itself, it's the pattern of behavior, the training of the mind.
Okay, let's bring this all back to the real world. Let's talk about the cost of all this. The data points and the sources are just staggering. For teens, average screen time is 7 to 9 hours a day.
And that's usually excluding schoolwork. That's a full-time job of just consuming content.
And it's not just teens. The average user checks their phone 96 times a day.
Think about that. If you're awake for 16 hours, that's an interruption once every 10 minutes.
You can't get anything done. Your focus is just shattered.
Totally shattered.
Yeah.
And the mental health numbers are terrifying. Since 2010, right when smartphones took over, teen depression has jumped by 60%. And it's not like people don't know it. 40% of young adults just flat out admit they are addicted.
And all that time online drives these awful consequences. The sources list, like anxiety, sleep deprivation. But the one that really stood out to me was the comparison syndrome.
Absolutely, because you're not just seeing your friends' lives.
Yeah.
You're seeing the perfectly curated, edited, impossible to achieve highlight reel of everyone's life. And you're comparing that to your own messy, boring, behind-the-scenes reality.
And that gap just creates this profound sense of insecurity and, well, loneliness.
Exactly. And here's where the two problems, social media and drugs, have this really dangerous overlap. The algorithm becomes the perfect pusher.
How so?
So, say a user listens to a relaxing binaural beat to fall asleep. The AI logs that interest in mind-altering audio. And then, to keep you engaged, it immediately starts recommending more extreme content in that category. It pushes you from a calm sleep track to digital LSD intense trip.
And it's not just the digital stuff. Social media normalizes real drug use too.
Totally, especially on platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. When kids see their peers or influencers constantly posting about partying, drinking, whatever, it just lowers the barrier to entry. It makes it seem normal, even desirable.
The whole picture, it feels really hopeless, like we're fighting this unbeatable supercomputer. But the sources do offer a way out. They talk about moving from digital slavery to something they call digital mastery.
And the key is to stop thinking of it as a personal failing of willpower. You have to see it as a system that you need to actively, intentionally manage.
So let's get practical. What are the solutions? The first one is digital fasting or detox. But wait a minute, is that realistic? I mean, I need my phone for work, for everything.
It's a great question. And the sources don't say you have to go live in a cabin. It's about starting small. Create some friction. Maybe it's 1 hour phone off every single day. Or maybe the phone goes in a drawer on Friday nights. The goal is to let your brain experience boredom again.
Boredom. You're saying boredom is good?
Boredom is where creativity happens. It's essential.
Okay, so what's number 2? How do you take back immediate control?
Easy. Turn off notifications. Almost all of them. The apps want to dictate your schedule. You need to be the one who decides when it's time to check in, not the other way around.
I like that. And number 3 is the morning rule. The sources are very clear on this. No phone for the first hour after you wake up.
This one is so critical for your brain. That first hour is when your mind is at its clearest. If the first thing you do is flood it with other people's emergencies and anxieties from your email and social feeds, you're setting yourself up to be reactive all day.
So protect that first hour. Okay, number 4 is about fighting fire with fire. It's called replace the habit.
Right, so when you get that twitchy feeling, that urge to mindlessly scroll, you have to consciously substitute it with something else, something skill-based.
Like what?
Pick up a guitar for 5 minutes. Do a language lesson on a noun. Write 1 paragraph. Anything that gives you a positive dopamine hit from actual accomplishment, not from empty validation.
Okay, number 5 is about awareness. Mindfulness. Just asking one simple question before you unlock the phone.
Yeah, the question is this adding value to my life right now? Knowing your mom, yes, that's value. Mindlessly checking to see if anyone liked a photo you posted 3 hours ago.
Probably not.
And finally, number 6, seek help. If this is really impacting your life, causing serious depression or anxiety, it's a treatable behavioral addiction. Talk to a professional.
This all really boils down to that core idea from the sources, doesn't it? Your attention is the world's most expensive currency.
It absolutely is, and you have to decide where you're going to invest it. Do you let it get extracted from you for free, or do you invest it in things that actually matter to you?
So we started with this choice, digital slavery versus digital mastery. And it seems like with these tools, taking back control is actually possible.
It is. But while all these personal solutions are vital, the sources leave us with a much bigger, much thornier question. We've established these things are designed to be addictive slot machines.
So the final thought isn't about us, it's about them, the designers.
Exactly. What is the ethical responsibility of the companies that built these machines in the first place? If you engineer a system specifically to undermine human willpower for profit, should the blame for addiction fall entirely on the user? That's the question we want to leave you with as you start setting your own digital boundaries.
अगर वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो लाइक करें, कमेंट में अपनी राय दें और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। आपके एक लाइक से हमें मिलता है मोटिवेशन, तो जरूर लाइक करें और शेयर करें अपने दोस्तों के साथ। अभी सब्सक्राइब करें ताकि अगली अपडेट आप सबसे पहले देख सकें। वीडियो अच्छा लगा हो तो नीचे कमेंट करें। आपका फीडबैक हमारे लिए गोल्ड है। सपोर्ट करें चैनल को, लाइक करें, शेयर करें और बेल आइकॉन दबाना मत भूलिए।